All right. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the GMS Louisiana Saints Camp with another video, and what we're going to be getting into today is the importance of the children of Israel, which you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, calling on to your true power, which is Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, and also the importance of calling on the right name, which is Yahweh, because you've clearly seen there are people out here that say, oh, the name doesn't matter. You can call him a licorice stick or a can of Cool's toothpaste, but the name does matter, because as we'll see in these scriptures, every time the children of Israel called on Yahweh, and also in his true name, that's when things started to get popping off, and Yahweh would come back to save his people.
Yeah, because we don't never want to get it confused, man. Never want to get it confused, because like the brother was just saying, there's people around here still calling on Jesus Christ, man.
Right.
So we want to let people know that's not the way the Lord told us to do it, man. He gave us particulars. He let us know within Exodus, the 3rd chapter, what his name was, man. He let us know that his son name was in his name, man. He gave us particulars, and we have to follow proper protocol, man. We just can't erase. We can't erase everything that the Lord set up for us, and just say, you know what? Well, we was given this, so let's just go ahead and just deal with that. No, man. We got to do things proper.
Oh, and if I could add, really this for the so-called elect who not in the fold yet, you know what I mean? Because really, according to the scriptures, there's going to be a lot of you who not going to get it regardless. So so this really just trying to rake in the rest of the elect, seal that 144 man, and get us up out of here, man.
Add off to what the brother was saying, on this side right now, it only refers to the elect, the 144,000 and righteous 1/3.
That's right.
And it was a similar case back then, because those are the only ones that were really calling on Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai to get things popping off.
That's right.
And also, with the children of Israel calling on that name, these heathens, at least at the top level, they understand the importance of that. So that's why you're seeing them scramble to try to come up with a case against us to get us off those highways and byways. Right. So brothers, never forget the importance of what you're doing. You're changing existence as you know it through these living waters.
That's right.
But now we'll start off with Acts chapter 2 and 21.
Acts 2 and 21. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. So point blank period. If he's saying whosoever shall call on the name, then there must be a correct name. There must be a correct name for the Father, which is Yahweh, and for his Son Yahushai. Because think about it like this. Think if you're at an airport and your name's Jack, and somebody says, oh, Jonathan, Jonathan, and there's a whole bunch of people in the crowd, and all you hear is Jonathan, but your name's Jack. You're not going to hear it.
You're not gonna know.
And if you see him, and if you do hear him and come up to him and they keep calling you Jonathan, Jonathan, you keep saying Jack, you're going to get upset and want to start correcting them.
Yeah, that was it on that.
Give me Zephaniah 3 and 9.
Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 9, it says, for then will I turn to the people a pure language, okay, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent.
Again, that they may call upon the name of the Lord, the true name, and that's that pure language that it talked about at the beginning of the precept, having the correct knowledge of the name and the power that comes with it. Give me Matthew 24 and 14.
I got it right here.
Because when you know that, that's when you start to see all these major events begin to happen.
That's right.
As it says in Matthew 24 verse 14.
It says, Matthew 24 verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all of the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
It shall be preached in the correct name, because things haven't been getting popping off ever until the name of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai started coming back into the fold. Because how many hundreds of years has Christianity been around the world preaching?
Forever, damn near. For as long as we have existed, for our lives, that is, Christianity been flourishing, man.
And with that, the world's been in a relative state of peace. You haven't been seeing major things happen like they are now.
Yeah.
But now that the true men of the Lord of Israel,
I just want to say it's been a state of wickedness, wicked peace. You know what I mean? That's how the world, under Christianity, the world been in a state of wicked peace. You know?
That's a lot. That Aleister Crowley do as thou wilt spirit,
right.
Because Christianity doesn't bring a standard. Not only does it say you don't have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, but that, you're supposed to love everybody.
Yeah.
But when the true understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai comes back into play, a standard is set up.
Yeah.
You have to discipline yourself in this truth. And with people living under this base man, which is Esau, the so-called white man, they become children that aren't disciplined.
And going back into what you were just saying, when that name came out, when this word came out, the world started to really shake, man. You started to see this bitch start to fall down.
It goes right into it. Jump up to verse 6.
It says, Matthew 24:6. It says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars.
The war in Iraq, the civil war in Syria, the civil war in the Ukraine, the war in the Yemen, and with rumors of wars. Talks of World War III, talks of war with Iran, talks of wars between China and the U.S., with the U.S. and Russia. And this isn't no little like bushfire war. This is straight up nuclear armed powers about to get into it.
We literally started to see other nations showcase nuclear missiles, man. Motherfuckers had parades in China for certain missiles, man. Russians letting you know that we stocked.
Putin said, look, we got these new hypersonic missiles and they're better than the U.S. and China.
That's
so,
right.
So what are you going to do if you come against us?
That's right. And
that's that bold spirit coming back.
That's right. And it says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass before the end. Before the end is not yet.
And don't be troubled, because just to have the true name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, know your identity, means that you're rocking in the spirit. So you should know that, hey, whatever comes, but at least I have my identity again and know the name, and I'm doing the work,
right,
which gives me a fighting chance to be saved. Verse 7.
All right. It says, for nation shall rise against nations.
And a nation is refers to a race of people. And you're seeing these racial tensions in America heat up to a head. You've got all these neo-Nazi camps starting to come out of the woodwork saying, look, we've lost our way. We got to take this country back. Because Esau's starting to feel the heat under his ass because the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is back in the world. And he's starting to get things moving to save his people that much more quickly. And not just Esau with Jake, but Esau with these other nations, these Moabites, such as these so-called Chinese and Koreans are starting to buck up to Esau, saying, look, we don't want you over on our necks anymore. And also these other nations.
And it says, and there shall be a famine, Salakia, and kingdom against kingdom, Salakia.
The U.S. against China, the U.S. against Russia, Iran against Israel, Saudi Arabia against Iran, and so on and so forth.
That's right. And it says, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
And you're hearing about that damn near every day on the news. There's a major earthquake happening almost every day. Famines, such as what's going on in Yemen, and pestilences. You've got these debilitating diseases in Venezuela, these flesh-eating, sexually transmitted diseases. And also you've got the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, talking about smallpox making a comeback in a very big way.
Wait, no, go ahead, finish your statement.
Oh, no, I was done.
Basically, and with all these things that the brother's going into, man, that's all because the name of the Lord is out here, man. That's all because the spirit of the Heavenly Father is basically spraying all over this place, man. Like mist on the grass, man. You know?
Give me Revelations 11.
Yeah, Revelation 11, bro.
Start at verse 3, and then give me Hosea 14 and 5. Just what the brother just said. With the name coming back, that these things are popping off, and Revelations 11 and 3, and we'll see that because as it'll state in Revelation 11 and 3, the Israelites are waking back up. The flesh and the muscles are starting to come back on those bones, and they're starting to get that breath of life getting put back in them. First and foremost, it's through the prophets, the men of the Lord on the highways and byways, pushing this word, the correct name and the correct understanding of these scriptures.
This is Revelations chapter 11, verse 3, it says, "And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses."
And those 2 witnesses are speaking of the southern kingdom, which you so-called Negroes, and the northern kingdom, which you so-called Latinos and Native Americans.
And it says, "And they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth."
And that's speaking of what we're doing right now on the highways and byways, preaching in sackcloth the true name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai.
Right.
And with that, as it said back in Matthew 24, when the word is preached to the 4 corners, then shall the end come. We're seeing all these major events begin to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a verse 4 out.
Oh, so Revelations 11 verse 4, it says, these are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of the earth.
Khan, and give me
the
that
power of
Hosea
the earth.
14 and 5 to show who these 2 olive trees are.
It says, Hosea 14, verse 5. It says, "And I will be as the dew unto Israel, and he shall grow as the lily, and cast forth his roots as Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
His branches shall spread, and his beauty shall be as the olive trees, and his smells as Lebanon."
Khan, so point blank period. Those olive trees are speaking of the tribes of Israel, the southern and the northern kingdom coming back together, just to give you an understanding. And with the children of Israel having that name back in their mouths and preaching it, we're starting to see again all these things come to pass.
That's right.
But also these heathens are starting to fear again because they can understand in their spirit that when Israel's back in its understanding, then that's when the Most High starts to put his cloak on them again.
Yeah, that truth is growing in the world, man.
Khan, could you give me Revelations 8?
And what else?
Just start at 8 and we'll go down to 11.
I got a piece up here right quick, guys.
Khan.
This is Romans chapter 10 verse 13. It says, "For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved."
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing right now.
Sure.
Calling upon the name to make sure our election is sure. But but with the topic of the whole topic of the video, just the fact that we know that name shows that our power's coming back to save us, to give us that chance to be saved.
That's right. That name is back in the earth, man, and it's growing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said Revelation 8 and
11 and 8.
All right. It says, Revelations 11 and 8, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of this great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified."
And this is speaking of the times when we didn't have the name back during slavery, when our identity was beaten out of us. Our dead bodies were laying in this spiritual Sodom, in the spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Spiritually, because we didn't have understanding, so we were going around like these 2/3 are now, thinking that they're Christians or Egyptologists or Pan-Africans or even Americans.
Right. So it's truly a blessing, man, because you can clearly see that the spirit is real, because it have given us true understanding within the midst of all of this foolishness, man. You know, like I said, this spiritual Sodom and Egypt, man. So when you read what was going on in Egypt and Sodom, man, hey, man, the water y'all Ba'Shem Yahushua, that we able to understand what we understand today, man.
Yeah, but but once again, you know, just like when you understand when we came up out of Egypt, you know, it's a reason why that first generation had to die off, man. That spirit that they was in is the same spirit that our people is in.
Yeah.
Spiritually dead.
Yeah, they're spiritually dead. You want, you know, and it might not be particularly that you're into Hinduism or into Buddhism or into Christianity, but the fact of the matter is, you know, you're not under the umbrella of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Proper understanding.
Yeah,
That's
the
right.
word that's not for you. So if this word that's being spread throughout all the 4 winds, if it's not music to your ears, then you're gonna have to go ahead and suffer the same judgment as the oppressors.
That's right.
You want to stay in that grave. Give me verse 9.
It says, and And they of the people and kindred and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies be put in graves.
That 3 days and a half is referring to about the 350 years of slavery, when Jake was just, again, dead and under these heathens. And these heathens have rejoiced over us because they make money off of us. Look at in every Jake neighborhood, you've got the so-called Arabs and Chinese with the Chinese store, with the Chinese food stores and gas stations making money off of you while still looking at you with niggers.
Yeah. They're licking our wounds, man.
Mm-hmm. And they hope for that because that's how they make their money in Babylon.
That's right.
And it says, you want 10, huh? Mm-hmm. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, shall send gifts one to another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth.
Mm-hmm. Because these 2 prophets of the northern and the southern kingdom were dead. They weren't in their understanding, so they have been marrying, sending gifts to each other, such as these so-called Arabs making money off you, as well as these Chinese to make money off of you out of the hood and then send their kids to college so they don't have to live in a situation like you. And also Esau back in the days during Rosewood and Black Wall Street, they'd kill you, chop your body parts off, and send them as gifts to each other, showing how sick these heathens are. Verse 11.
It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, they that stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
You can see the fear starting to fall upon these heathens because at the top level they know what's up. So that's again why we were saying earlier they're coming up with these precautions to get us off the highways and byways. But as we get closer and closer to these famines and pestilences and earthquakes increasing, and also the plagues of Egypt starting to hit this place again, and martial law and the chip, these people are going to understand that a prophet has been among them.
That's right.
And these are the true words, and with them understanding that, they're also going to understand what we were saying when we said Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans were the top race on the planet, and that all these other nations were meant to be slaves, and that their only future is slavery. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be a slave.
No.
That's right.
I know we didn't want to be no slave. You know.
And now we're gonna jump to Judith, chapter 5, verse 5. Just to show how in the past these heathens understood the importance of the name, and how they're going to understand the importance of it again today.
Judith, chapter 5, verse 5. It says, then said Achior. Then said Achior, the captain of all the sons of Ammon,
or the so-called Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
It says, let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of my servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee, and inhabited the hill countries. And there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant.
Khan, and to give a little understanding, this was during the time when the Babylonians tried to come against the tribe of Judah and all the other southern tribes such as Levi and Benjamin, which were still living in the land at the time. And this Ammonite was telling Holofernes, a general of Nebuchadnezzar, the importance of this people knowing their power, and that with them knowing their power would save them out of any circumstance. Jump to verse 17.
Verse 17, it says, and wist they sinned not before their God. They prospered Salakia. Prospered because the God that hated iniquity was with them.
So while Israel knew its identity and followed these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High prospered their way and wouldn't let any enemy take them out. Mm-hmm. That's what these heathens knew. Verse 18.
But when they departed from the way which are appointed them, which he, Salaki, I'm going to read it again. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land which, led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies.
And you could see what happened to Jake when Esau came back into power during the Renaissance. First and foremost, it was through prophecy for us to go down. But around that time, Jake was in all types of wayward doctrines like they are now. They were being Christians, just being heathens back when we ruled Europe. And because of that, the Most High took us out of that power and sent us into slavery, into a land we did not know, into a tongue we did not understand. And even now today, as we were saying earlier, these 2/3 still want to be dead bodies. They still want to be spiritual Egyptians, hearkening unto their captives. And because of that, the Most High is going to destroy them again.
That's right.
Give me verse 19.
Verse 19, it says, "But now are they returned to their God."
In the true name and the understanding. Come.
That's right. And are come up from the places where they were scattered.
All across the four corners of the earth. You've got Jakes in the Philippines, in Romania, coming back to this understanding, putting up videos speaking in their language, but the one thing that is always constant, that's in the universal tongue, is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. And with that word going over the four corners of the earth, then the end is coming. It's quickly approaching.
It says, "And have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate."
Verse 20.
"Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power,"
if they be spiritually dead, as a modern reference to that,
it says, "Let us consider that this shall be their ruin."
As you can see, Jake, back in the 60s, they tried the Black Panthers, the Latin Kings, what was that one called? I think it was called the Red Berets, where it was another group of Hispanics trying to do something like the Black Panthers. They had a righteousness, but not according to knowledge. Yeah. They tried to come back together, but since they weren't doing it in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, the true power, Esau was able to infiltrate those movements and just turn it into shit, and it didn't prosper.
That's right. See, and it says, "And let us go up, and we shall overcome them."
Which is what Esau and these other nations have been doing, being merry and sending presents to each other because we were spiritually dead and didn't understand ourselves. But as it'll say in verse 21,
it says, "But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them."
So let's get the fuck out of the way. These people know the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, so no sword can prosper against them. We got to do what we can to label them black identity extremists or try to dissuade them from understanding this truth.
Yeah, because if you notice in all the different stories within Joshua, within Judges, man, whenever we fell back on Yahweh, whenever we came back to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, he was riding with us, man. But when we fell away, hey man, he let all these other nations just take advantage of us, man.
And he was riding with us, but he was also showing his spiritual power. Yeah. He was casting hailstones out of the sky to hit these heathens. Yeah. He allowed Gideon and his 300 men to take out thousands of people. And you're going to see that again. You're going to see a small number of men put work and make a large group of people flee.
That's right. Okay. And it says,
I think
at least the Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Right. Showing that we ain't shit.
No.
Only their power was the one that set us up. But now that they know their power, we can't do anything against them. And that's what's coming to you Edomites. Right. Just like Pharaoh in the past, who the Most High hardened his heart to show his power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is hardening the hearts of you Edomites to make your pride that much more bigger, just so your fall will be that much more harder, to show that, is this the man that put the world in subjection under his feet? No, he was just a man that was set up by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua for a set amount of time, just so Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua could show his power. Because when you Edomites fall, y'all are going to be below the earth in the kingdom. Y'all are going to be, a slave would be a nice term for you. I don't even know what y'all are going to be.
It's going to be a new term that we come up. But, once again, what that is, that's just more glorifying not us, not our nation, our power. Because our power is the thing that holds us up, that puts us above other nations.
He give us the strength, man.
He give us the strength. He give us the law, statutes, and commandments. These are the things that elevate us above all these no standard, no principle, no moral heathens.
Did you have anything to say?
No, that was it.
But that was it with this sit down. We hope you sincere Akim out there were edified. Just again, be grateful for the fact that you know not only know you're an Israelite, but you believe in the true name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Right.
Understand that by knowing that and doing the works, you're helping and bringing down Esau's kingdom and just this heathenistic world in general, and ushering in the new kingdom,
Right.
the new ways of life. So with that, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to the true name,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well.
Right.
And peace and salutations to Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity. And you brothers endure until the end. Ababa Ball.
Baba Ball.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.